thy servant will once again stand before your children and proclaim your gospel. As always, Lord, I pray, O Lord, that your word will go forth like seed falling upon fertile ground, growing us to be the people of God that you desire us to be. But not the frailties of thy servant keep your word from going forth. Speak to us, O Lord, right now, your words and your words only. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Church, say amen.
Amen.
Next to praising God, more than anything, when we come into worship, I like to think that we are helping people feel closer to God. By this I mean we are helping people to focus on good things like forgiveness and restoration, revival, and all of God's promises. Amen. See, living in this sin-sick world, and for some of us, because of mistakes we've made, it's easy to feel distant from God. It's easy not to feel things like God's joy, peace of mind, and hope for the future. Sin, both ours and the sins of others, bring negative feelings like guilt and shame. But when we worship God together, when we worship God together, we should help each other overcome the negative and feel the goodness of the presence of the Lord. Amen? Now we know God is here in this place because the Lord told us, I will never leave or forsake us. The Lord has told us that, so we know God is there. But sometimes we need a bit of help to focus. Now a big part of our worship is Christian fellowship. I mean, there's nothing better than the encouraging words that we can receive from our brothers and sisters in Christ. Somebody need to say amen. That's all good. But you know, sometimes we run into a problem. Sometimes we confuse piety with righteousness. And the result can be very discouraging. Now, piety refers to the things that people do to express their religion or faith. The way we pray, the way we worship, the way we serve, all the things that we do in church, that's our piety. But sometimes piety destroys the encouraging benefits of Christian fellowship. How? I'll explain. Well, sometimes religious people do things to be seen by others as righteous. Or they're attempting to do things to demonstrate that they're good Christians. They're doing it for the show and accolades of others. Now Jesus warns against this in Matthew 6:1, when the word says, be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. And we know when we look at our Bible history, for Jesus, if we look at the behavior of the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and even some of the disciples, we know that this issue of showmanship and showing your piety in front of folks to receive their accolades, we know that was a problem at that time. You know, this is what the Sadducees and Pharisees were doing, and in some cases, even the disciples. And too often, when we look at our Bible story, we know we have these instances when it seems like what people were doing were not necessarily worshiping or encouraging each other, but instead we're saying, look at me praying, look at me fasting, look at all the nice religious things I'm doing. I must be a righteous person. I must be a good Christian. Now there's a time and place for doing these things in public. After all, Christians should pray together and worship together, amen? But as Christians, we should be more concerned with God and less concerned with what others are thinking. And then there is the issue of judging others. Judging others. Now again, going to our Bible history, for the first believers or followers of Christ 2,000 years ago, they were guilty of unfairly judging the righteousness of new believers. You see, many of the first believers were Jewish, and they rejected new believers who were not Jewish, or as we call Gentiles, because these new believers, they didn't follow Jewish traditions and culture. You see, having the wrong expectations and not accepting others because they are different doesn't help anyone better focus on God. Using piety with righteousness. Now, as I mentioned, our goal should be to provide relief from the negativity of this world by helping folks to feel closer to the Lord. That's a good work. And in some ways, this is still a struggle because Christians, we, to be honest, are sometimes too quick to criticize or even question the faith of others who look or do things differently. Now, we need to be very careful because we can't judge the depth of a person's faith by simply observing what they do, not entirely, because none of us do the right things all the time. And even for some of us who think that we are so holy, if someone were to catch us at the wrong time when we're doing the wrong thing, well, they might conclude something else. We must remember that God's love is bigger than what we do, be it good or bad. And you certainly cannot judge a person by how they look. Someone can be totally different from you. Worshiping differently, praying differently, living differently, believing or understanding things differently, and that doesn't make them any less right or wrong in God's sight. They still need to be encouraged and not criticized. And we need to remember that everyone needs God's grace and mercy. Somebody need to say amen. Always. I remember I attended a funeral once, and as I spoke to the family, a family member who was quite upset over the death was talking very loudly, even cursing, some of the worst curse words, and clearly they were trying to drown out any word of encouragement I was attempting to share with the family. Now my initial reaction to all of this was negative. But after a while, I came to realize that I should not have any feelings toward this person because quite frankly, that person, perhaps more than anyone, needed to feel closer to God at that particular moment in time. So instead of judging him, I tried to love him more, and I pray by offering even more words of encouragement in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. For those who feel that they have embraced Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, we have experienced the power of God in our lives, and we are truly blessed. For those of you who have been lost in the world, lost to sin, but God changed your life, you are truly blessed, and you need to give God some praise this morning. Amen. You have good reason to celebrate. But be careful not to let your blessings cause you to think too highly of yourself. Be careful. Instead of being humble and thankful for what God has done, sometimes Christians, all of us, we start thinking we are better than others and more righteous than others, even though we have good intentions, because we think in our hearts and minds we are better. Indeed, God has made us better, but that doesn't mean we can demand that others should be better. Only God can do that. Criticism, judgment, condemnation, rejection, and other harsh actions generally don't work for anybody. Can I get an amen? Now, I'm not talking about preaching the gospel or sharing God's instructions. That must always happen. We cannot ignore sin, nor do we accept sin. But God also teaches us something about grace and mercy. Give God some praise. You see, when we judge others harshly, we might be sending out the wrong message. Have you ever have you ever encountered Christians who come off so high and mighty, so high as a moral, that it just turns you off? Have you ever experienced that? You see, by our own words, if we are not careful, we can literally drive people further away from God. It's like we sometimes forget our own Christian journey. We must remember that we have all fallen short of the glory of God, and we must help all believers, especially those who may be struggling in their faith, to understand that they are not going to get it right all the time. It's important that we are not overly judgmental, not condemning. There must always be room for grace and mercy. We need to remember what we all have in common, and there are two things. First, God's love, and secondly, in some way, we have all struggled. When you see someone struggling in sin, or doing things inconsistent with God's will, remember that you are not all that different. We are all imperfect. We all make mistakes. We are no better. And they are no worse. That God can make them better. Give God some praise. Except for God's love, God's blessings, God's grace, and God's mercy, we would all be in trouble. Let's look at our scripture in Hebrews, chapter 5. Here we see some dialogue about the priesthood of Christ. The priestly office, as it is referenced there in this scripture, started with Aaron, the brother of Moses, in the Old Testament. Now, this priestly office held a special and important place in the history of Israel. Aaron, again, Moses' brother, was the first high priest. And all the subsequent priests came from Aaron's family until the time of the New Testament, when the government, Rome, actually appointed the high priest. Now, starting with the Old Testament, the primary responsibility of the priest was to offer Israel's gifts to God, or the sacrifices for the forgiveness of sin. If you're with me, church, let me hear you say amen. Now, the high priest was revered and honored by the people. And I suspect it was the ambition of many to become the high priest. And when they did, I also suspect that they thought it was a great accomplishment. And just maybe, some of these high priests, with all the reverence and acclaim, thought more highly of themselves than they should. But our scripture today from Hebrews talks about the priesthood of Christ. Because just as the priests in the Old Testament were responsible for offering the sacrifices for the forgiveness of sin, Jesus offered himself as a sacrifice for the forgiveness of our sins. As you're with me, church, let me hear you say amen. But what is perhaps equally important is understanding the humility of Jesus, the high priest. Today, we think of priests, or when we think of priests, perhaps we think about men in fancy robes and standing in pulpits inside palatial cathedrals. But that is not the example we have in Jesus. Jesus didn't see his role as one of honor or esteem. He didn't put himself upon a pedestal and look down upon those he was called to serve. In Jesus, there was no pompousness or pretentious piety. To the contrary. And this was the example, the role model for those who follow Jesus, called to continue his work in the world. And here, Hebrews chapter 5 offers some great advice. The word says, every high priest chosen from among mortals is put in charge of things pertaining to God on their behalf, to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins. He is able to he is to deal gently with the ignorant and wayward, since he himself is subject to weakness. And because of this, he must offer sacrifices for his own sins as well as for those of the people. And no one does not presume to take this honor, but takes it only when called by God, just as Aaron was. So think about the instructions here. He is able to deal gently with the ignorant and wayward, since he himself is subject to weakness. The word is telling us here to deal gently with those who may not be as wise or as knowledgeable about the faith. Acknowledge your own weakness. Seek forgiveness for your own sins. Pray for yourself as well as others. This message, which was given to the early church, provides tremendous insight into what is required not only for high priests, but for all followers of Christ. Specifically, gentleness and understanding toward others, and acknowledging and seeking forgiveness of your sins. Now, as we consider how we serve God today, we are not high priests. Jesus is our high priest. Jesus is the only priest that matters. Give God some praise. But having embraced Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, we are called by God to be children of the living God. As stated earlier, we shouldn't allow this calling to cause us to think too highly of ourselves. Amen? We may have a better understanding of matters of faith. We may be able to pray better or preach better. But we must be careful not to confuse piety, the stuff we do, with righteousness. The Bible instructs us to be humble. Church, let me hear you say humble. Be humble. Don't be so judgmental of others, because we are all struggling. And when we come together in Christian fellowship, and remember, in Christian fellowship and worship, we want to help others to feel closer to God. So when we come together in Christian fellowship, let's be encouraging. Church, let me hear you say encouraging.
Encouraging.
Scripture, we have it on front of our bulletin every Sunday, Hebrews chapter 10. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering. For he who promises faithful. Let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. I recall the story of a woman who was a Christian. And one Sunday, running late to church, she decided to attend a church that was closer to her home. Now, ethnically, this woman was different from the rest of the congregation of the church she attended that Sunday. When she arrived, she was seated, but no one really approached her or greeted her. Once the service was over, she exited the church, and again, there was little interaction. Now that day, this Christian woman, really needed some encouragement. She was having marriage trouble, and her health was failing. She arrived at the church seeking Christian encouragement. And the opportunity for that congregation to share God's love was missed. We must be careful not to do the same. It's easy to ignore people, real easy. It's easy to close our eyes to the plight of others. Criticism and judgment are always easy. It's easy to find the things that someone is doing wrong. But instead of ignoring or criticizing or being judgmental, let's offer good words and do good things to remind folks that they have a high priest, and he is Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Always remember how Jesus Christ lowered himself so that we can be lifted up. So today, say something to help somebody feel closer to God. Folks come into the house of the Lord. We don't always know where they're coming from or what they've been dealing with. But I suspect someone here today, has had a difficult time over this past week. But somehow, in some way, they made it into the house of the Lord. There may be someone here that may have lost a loved one or lost a friend, and they are mourning today, but somehow they found their way into the house of the Lord. Someone here today may be struggling financially, physically, spiritually, mentally, however it might be. Not sure how they're going to make it another day, but somehow today they found themselves into the house of the Lord. And here we are in this fellowship together. And we can do a great service for all our brothers and sisters in Christ. Don't look how a person is dressed. Don't look at how they talk. Maybe they don't know scripture like you know scripture. Maybe they don't know prayer like you know prayer. Maybe they don't know the Lord the way you know the Lord. But you have the capacity to offer them a word of encouragement in the name of Jesus, to lift them up and to bring them that much closer to the Lord. Don't miss the opportunity to share God's love with someone in this place today. Don't ignore it. Open your eyes and hearts to see the needs of your brothers and sisters in Christ. You're not a high priest, but you are a child of the living God. Don't criticize, encourage. Don't ignore, embrace. Be a blessing for others. And watch how God will bless you. Give God some praise. I'm going to ask us all to stand. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to ask you all to greet your brothers and sisters in Christ this morning. And I want you to earnestly and honestly to ask your brothers and sisters, in the name of Jesus, how are you doing? And I want you to share with each other. Open up your hearts and minds and share just how you're doing. And if someone that you're talking to needs prayer this morning, pray with them right now. They need a word of encouragement. Give them a word of encouragement. If someone is struggling, remind them that you too have struggled, but in the name of Jesus, you have or you are overcome. Spend some time with your brothers and sisters in Christ this morning. So right now, just embrace your brothers and sisters and ask them someone in the name of Jesus how they're doing this morning right now. God bless you. Please.